Good morning, folks. I'm going to do a little Seed Saving 101 this morning. Try to keep it brief and easy to follow. Let's start with the fruits that have seed wrapped in that gel coating. That is a deterrent to hold off that fruit from reproducing until the next season. We want to ferment that off. As far as fruit selection goes, I like to use, this is a Boston Pickler, but it's rounded out, so it doesn't really suit my needs. I leave this on the vine until it just starts to yellow, pick it, set it on the counter. I always use the best tomatoes that I have, the best selection of tomatoes that I have, because I want to breed the best qualities. And again, you're going to use a fermentation process for those seeds of any gel-coated seed. I ferment up here in this cabinet, which I access twice a day. It being in the dark is important because you don't want it to have regular access to UV rays. I feel like that breaks down the viability of the seed too quickly. You can see the fermentation going on here. I get into this cabinet twice a day. I stir it. It only takes 2 or 3 days. We take our medications out of this cabinet, so I'm in here at a minimum twice a day. And during that time, I stir this. You see it will break down into layers. Once they fall to the bottom, those are your good seeds. Anything on the top, you can scrape off. That's garbage. And I will put these through a strainer, rinse them down, and then put them on a paper plate. Your paper plate seeds, your melons, your squashes, these are some patty pan seeds. I just put those, rinse them off. I feel like that helps with germination. Put them on a paper plate to dry. And again, set them in the dark. Then they dry. Then I put them in a bag. Occasionally, like with this patty pan here, this is one that didn't have any bug intrusion whatsoever. I'm letting this kind of dry out a little bit on its own. You guys know you can dry out a squash and keep the seeds in the squash, actually. But I will pull these out. I just feel like I don't want to keep this big thing when I can keep a small bag. Other things that I seed save, okra and beans. I hang those up to dry. Okra and beans, if you leave them on the vine too long, they will stop production on that vine at some point. So I harvest them when they're large. Now I'm 5'9", so I have pretty big hands. This is about, I don't know, 6-7 inches long. And this is the ideal size that I harvest my okra. I look for the beans that got away. This is yesterday's bean harvest. And so this one I will probably string up because it's big, it's meaty. Some of these, so they don't taste great once they get to this large size. I string them up inside and let them dry out, and then harvest the seeds, put them in bags with the little decantescent, the little moisture absorbers that you would get in a purse or a box of shoes, a new pair of shoes. I collect those. Corn, I just let dry out on a cob. I normally keep it in a container. Let that go naturally. You can hang them up. It's just let them dry out and save the seed. Now, lettuce. I had an experiment with lettuce this year. Let me take you outside very, very quickly. Pardon the mess here. So this is when you want to harvest your lettuce seed. As you can see, it gets these puffy little flowers here. Once they go to puff, once they turn brown, that's when you want to harvest the seed out of these. Now, it can be difficult because they blow away, so a lot of people use little cloth bags. It's also a good way to protect heirlooms, keep them true to type. That's a totally different video. This is Seed Saving 101. You can use those little mesh bags. You can get them like Oriental Trading Company, really cheap. I just doesn't want to fit over here because of the F word. Yeah, the F word. Anyway, no, get your nose out of there. You're gonna knock them in. But we're gonna reseed in this pot anyway. Still, I tried to cheat the system this year. Let me show you that inside. I tried to harvest while green, let them puff up inside. Let me show you here. I can get a little light if I can. So what I did was I collected them while green, let them puff up inside, but it didn't work. The seeds didn't go to black. They were a very light color, and when I tested their germination, it just flatly did not work. Cheat the system where you can, but don't waste your time just cheating the system where you can't. This was a fail. These are going to go in the trash, but, you know, it's an education experience. I thought, well, why leave them outside in the wind? If I can bring them inside, let them flower and puff up inside, and save them then. Well, because they won't germinate. It just kind of defeats the purpose. So, lesson learned there, and there will be more videos to come on seed saving. I'll get into a lot more detail about open pollinated and heirloom in another video in the future. This is just the basics of what's going on now, what I'm doing today, and I hope you guys enjoyed. See you later. Bye.